So, welcome learners. I welcome you to the blended learning for the course ME 22047 Warehousing Automation. So, before we get into the objectives as well as the contents for this particular unit, the importance of warehouses as well as the need and necessity for automation in the warehouses ought to be known. So, the first thing is today we live in a fast paced world, that is supply chain. It is going to be governed by supply chain, of course, a new term which you might be hearing for few. So supply chain is an activity which involves in logistics as well as transportation or transshipment, where the product will be getting produced or manufactured in one part of the globe, then it is getting processed to elsewhere, and then it finally comes to the user at a different part of the world. So this particular task is going to be accomplished by logistics or transshipment or transportation to do this particular task. So there are several factors are there which governs maybe seasonal demand or with respect to geopolitical conditions. So likewise, there are different scenarios are there which restricts the flow of this particular supply chain. So warehouses are one particular alternative to this exorbitant pressure what the supply chain team undergoes. So warehouses are literally local storage spaces. Why do we use the term local storage spaces? It is going to be spread on the different magnitude. The scalability is going to differ. So therefore, it's going to be local storages. It is in different forms. So all those things we'll be dealing a lot. So the final takeaway is, see, warehousing is one particular local storage space between the producer to the end user. So there might be a consumer, definitely there will be a consumer, and there is a producer. So is the one, warehouse is the one which is going to be eventually equal or positioned mid of both these entities. Now coming to automation, why, what is the need for automation is, see, this the scale or the magnitude of warehouse is not so simple as we think. So based on the perishability of the product, based on the cost involvement, the scale of a warehouse is going to be enormous in some cases. So in order to get rid or in order to go ahead with easiness of the operation, so automation comes into default, it comes into process. So it is inevitable that warehouses need to be automated for effective as well as for functional effectiveness. So let us recall what is the term automation means. So automation is an act of adopting technology or technologies to minimize human intervention for undue work, repetitive work. So we have got a repetitive work which has to be carried out by human. So we use some sort of techniques or technologies in order to minimize human intervention. Of course, 100% eliminating a human may not be possible, and that what Industry 5.0 is also against with. So human intervention will be there only for the case of decision making. So that's what modern automation community, what it defines itself as such. So let us get into the warehousing course, automation course objectives. The first objective is students will be able to understand the principles and technologies of warehousing automation. Second will be the theoretical knowledge what you gain, you'll be in a position to use for the case of design, implementation, and managing such automated warehouses. And finally, you'll be in a position to evaluate the challenges and considering to provide solutions for such complicated warehousing automation cases in real world. So coming to the contents, Unit 1 corely deals with the fundamentals of warehouse automation. So to kickstart with, what is warehouse process? What are the challenges? Because we need to understand the challenges first of all, then only we'll be able to provide new solutions for it. So the technologies in present, what are the things available? So we'll be discussing all these things in Unit 1. So coming to Unit 2 is purely numerical oriented technologies or the concepts. It starts with queuing model. So what is a queue? Why a queue necessary? How a queue itself associates with respect to automation, with respect to product flow. So all such things will be dealing as well as will be solving some numerical problems in this regard. So coming to unit 3, it is going to deal with planning and implementation. You wanted to start a warehouse right from beginning, then you wanted the same to be automated. So how to start the process? What is the first functionality which you need to consider, and how do you go ahead with right from the investment process, the possibility of or the probability of return on investments, what we can expect, as well as the risks involved into it. So we'll be dealing a lot of wholesome package from this particular unit. So coming to unit 4, decision making, because as a human, coming out with the decision spontaneously at the right time plays a very, very crucial role. You take the decision properly, but at the wrong time, still it will yield us a negative result. Or on the contrary, you would have taken a wrong decision at the right time. Still, you will be not experiencing a proper or an expected or an anticipated solution. So therefore, the decision making plays a very crucial role. So what all are the techniques behind it? We'll see, especially from a warehousing context. And the final unit, it is going to deal with the advanced technologies like automation or AR and VR with respect to product identification, then estimation of the products available. So all such things will be able to go ahead with, including the delivery like Hyperloop delivery or a drone based delivery. We'll see all these things, how the future trends are there in the near future, how this automation, especially with respect to warehousing, has a very potential to change. So to summarize this introduction, so warehousing automation is going to deal with multiple technologies, or in short, it's a multidisciplinary activity which involves modern material handling systems, with respect to optimization, queuing theory, operations research, and finally the latest and modern disruptive technologies. What today community discusses all about, something like AR, VR, or with respect to drone technologies, everything. So thank you. What are the doubts? Please note it down. Whenever we come for the regularly we meet for the offline classes, we shall discuss the doubts. Thank you.